What's up, guys? I'm so excited. This is week 4. I'm your host, Robert, and I don't think I've introduced myself on any of the other podcasts. So I'm Robert. Nice to meet you guys. By week 4, we've only got 1 week left, but at least we know each other now. So I'm really excited for today's topic. We are talking about serving. So we've talked about gathering purposefully, connecting deeply, giving generously, and today is serve selflessly. So you got to hear Pastor Jeff give a message last night, actually, if you were at the Crossing Students, on serving. But today's the follow-up, the continued conversations, if you will. See what I did? I threw the name of the podcast in. Continued conversation. So I'm excited. This is also, fun fact, our only podcast in this series that includes a middle schooler. We have a 7th grader with us today, and you'll realize why I picked him in a little bit. But let me introduce these other people I got with me. We have, are you a senior this year?
No, I'm a junior.
Why do I feel like you're a senior?
I don't know.
Anyway, we have a junior. Cut all that out, Trey. We have a junior named Brianna Beach. Brianna, thanks for being here today. Talk to me. Tell me, let's start with, I already said your grade, so we're not going to go there. How long have you been serving, and where do you serve with the Crossing?
Oh, gosh. I've been serving since I was like 7 years old. But for the Crossing, I've been serving for the past like 2 or 3 years. I do hosting, but originally I started in early childhood. I helped with the infants, but now I get up and host for our kinder through 2nd graders.
Wow. So you're up on the stage, you're running games, you're doing worship songs. By songs, I mean not singing, you're just dancing.
Yeah.
And you've also spoke at Crossing Students this last summer. You gave a whole message, so that's a way you served as well. I love that. Well, without further ado, let us pass to the one middle schooler on this podcast series, Mr. Benji. I don't know your last name.
I will pronounce it for you.
Okay.
And you got to remember this, okay?
Okay.
Most people, a lot of people don't remember this.
Okay.
It's Baserto.
Baserto.
You said it right. Good job.
I win. See that? I win. Podcast over. Thanks for being here. We'll see you back next week. Baserto. Benji. So, Benji, I picked you because you are 7th grade.
Yes.
And one of my highlights, I think, on Sundays, you probably don't know this, is being able to ignore your mom while she's greeting at the doors and come to the other door that you are standing at, greeting everybody as they come in and giving you a high five. That's like one of my highlights because I get to be like, you know what? No, I'm ignoring you. I'm going to Benji because Benji is my guy. So Benji, how long have you been serving as a greeter for the Crossing?
I started last year, so this is probably my 2nd year.
This is your 2nd year. That's super cool. As a 7th grader, that's so cool seeing you get connected. So we're hoping some of you guys, maybe even 6th, 7th graders that are listening to this, you jump in and serve. But without further ado, let's do our little icebreaker question. This is going to be a fun one. Where would you not ever want to serve?
Oh.
Benji, what is it?
The welcome team.
The what?
Oh, wait. Yeah, the welcome team.
The welcome team? Why? Because they have to stand out in the heat?
Yeah, they have to stand out in the heat outside for about, what is it? It goes from like 10:30 to 11:15 or longer.
They have to stay out there for like 30 minutes before service and then 15 minutes after service, standing in the 100-degree heat. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Bree, what is it for you?
I think it's the worship team, especially on Wednesdays, for 2 reasons, main 2 reasons. One, you would not want to hear me sing. Like, don't
so
even.
You're thinking of the people.
I'm thinking of the people. I am helping you guys out. Never, ever. I will never. Second of all, I think being down and worshiping with like all of my friends is one of my favorite parts of Wednesday nights. So I don't think I could give that up. Like, even just for 1 week, it's my favorite part.
I love how you balanced it with, I'm going to be selfish and I want to worship, but also I'm going to think about you and I don't want you to listen to me sing. So it was like, there was a really good balance. And Benji's just over here like, I really don't want to sweat, guys. It is what it is.
I'm a cold person.
You're a cold person?
My body is a living furnace.
It's a living Do you produce furnace. A lot of heat?
Yes. So I'll go in my room, I'll lay in my bed with my blanket on for like 15 minutes and I'll be like sweating.
Sweat. Dude, yeah. We keep our house at like 70 degrees. It's ridiculous. We want our house super cold. Anyway, let's chat about serving. First question we got for you guys is, what does serving do? 2 parts. What does serving do for the church? And then what does serving do for you as the person who is serving? So who wants to go first?
I'll start. For me personally, serving just gives me like a purpose in the church. Like, I like having that church community, and I think serving has definitely opened that up for me and gave me like a part of a team that I could work towards. And I definitely see the benefit of it, like week after week, especially working with kids. They start to know you, they start to get all excited. You get like the random pictures, and it's obviously colored by a 8-year-old, but it's fine. And it's really cute. And I like being able to have the people around me that also serve. They're working for an alike goal, and so their mind and their heart is in the same place and in the church. And for the church, it just really helps create this like environment. Like, we're all here because we want to, not because we're getting paid to do it, not because like all of these things. We're here because we want to. We're here, we choose to wake up at like 7:30 every morning to get here, and it's just creates a really fun environment, not only for us to serve in, but for the people that come to church every Sunday.
That's really good. I like that you hit the idea of you think that serving is important because it also puts you in another community. And like 2 episodes ago, we talked about connecting deeply and how the people around us, we need to connect to them and be close to them. And I think this is just also serving is another avenue for you to connect with people. Like, you have your people that serve with you on Sunday, and you guys are a close-knit group, and you know each other, and you've got each other's backs. And when you wake up at 7:30, you're not like, oh my gosh, I'm tired. No, it's, I get to go see these people, and I get to see my kids, and I get to pour into these kids. So I love that. That's great. Benji, what about you? Why is it important for the church? And then why is it important for you personally?
So I think serving is important for the church because mainly it gives the people of the church an environment to know that there are people who love to serve people, and they love to serve God. And it just, I think for the people who come every Sunday, when they see the people holding open the doors or welcoming them in, or like the parking crew when they would like give them something, it's like, in my mind, they're going like, these people took like, what is it, like 45 minutes out of their day to serve us and serve God at the same time. They could have been at home sitting after their church service being like, oh, that was a great church service, but they're like, no. It's like they come, they serve, they learn, and it's just basically a good environment.
That's good. I like that because I think that's one of the clearest ways that we also see people imitating and being like Jesus, right? Because Jesus's first interaction with many people was literally to serve them. He helped them. He did these things. He healed people. He washed his disciples' feet. And he's doing all of this so that people know that there's somebody that cares about them. And just like you said, you holding a door open for somebody is saying to somebody, hey, you're welcome here. You belong here. I love you and care about you enough to open this door and be here for you. The people standing out there, like you said, at the Welcome Center that are dealing with 100-degree heat for 45 minutes, they're doing that because they care about people. Because I know there's a guy out there at the 9 a.m. that I always get a fist bump from, and he always makes a comment about something I'm wearing. And that brings me joy. Like, that brings me joy to walk on stage, or not stage, but walk on campus when he has now said that. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Like, oh, cool. I did. These are good shoes. Like, I do look good today. And it's because he's doing that I can feel more confident. And that's what we're all providing for kids that walk through the environment, but then also for people that are walking into our service on Sunday. So I love that. That's so good. I think there's also this level of ownership that comes with serving. Like, obviously you become a part of it, but you also take ownership to say, no, I'm going to help make this what I think it should be as well, right? So talk to me about how much ownership do you feel like students should take when it comes to their church home?
I think there's a lot of, as a kid, you're like, I can't do much in the world. Like, there's this constant feeling of like helplessness. At least for me, there is, because like so many big things happen in the world and at school, and it's like you can't really do anything about it. And I feel like church is the one place you should be able to come. You should be able to like express your faith, talk about it, have those people. And by serving in the church, I can make a difference that actually matters. And I feel like I'm actually heard in the church. Because, you go to school and you're working on that group project with those people and no one's listening to you. Even like at home, you're like, things should go this way and no one will listen to you. No one's hearing out your emotions. But at church, you feel like older, like you're an adult in the sense that people actually listen to you. People respect you. People take in account like what you say, and there's a lot of things that I've mentioned to like Michaela and people like that have actually taken that into account and put it into action. And I think that's really cool, and I like to be able to see it in motion and be like, oh yeah, I helped create that. Like I see that working and I see that it's actually working. And it's also a learning experience of some things you point out and they don't work and they fail epically, but it's a whole learning process and I really enjoy it.
That's good. What about you, Benji? How does the ownership play out for you, and why should students want to take ownership?
So I think the reason students want to take ownership or should take ownership home, my personal experience is once I started like taking ownership in those like the big church, or like back when I was like 5th grade, I reckon I see the difference since I took ownership home with me. Like I would go home and I'd be like, Mom, there was this cool story about a guy named Paul who literally went blind after persecuting millions of Christians. And after that, after God gave someone the power to heal him, he was changed. And it's just like so cool. And I feel like kids should be taking that home too. They should be like, oh yeah, Mom, I heard this really cool story today. And isn't that why you guys like say the stories at the beginning, like the stories about your life? Because it's like it gets them locked in to the idea that you guys are doing.
Yeah. And I think what I love about what you're saying is that when you started serving, when you started standing at a door, it gave you more buy-in to say, I'm excited for church and I'm here for a reason. Because then when you were standing at the door and you were taking that seriously, you started taking all the other parts of church seriously, and that grew your faith. And it all started with that step for you to start serving. That's really good. Was that a hard step to take for you to say, you know what, I am going to serve? Or was that like a really easy, like, no, I need to start serving?
It was kind of a hard step because at first it was like, I have to wake up like 8:30 just so I could get to a church service. And now I have to stay like 2 hours later to finally get home. But then once I started doing it, it just became more fluid, and it was just a part of my brain. And it's like, all right, let's do it.
It became a rhythm.
Yeah.
It became something that you did weekly. I love that. So I want to jump back to Bree, talking about the ownership and being involved with Kids Crossing, because so many of our students serve with Kids Crossing. And I think, if in all honesty, like Kids Crossing is the easy one for teens to do, because you can stay a teen, you can have fun, you can be goofy, you can run around, you can make jokes with these kids. Standing at a door isn't necessarily always attractive to a student, or serving at the coffee shop, or these different things that students can do. But kids pulls a lot of students in. And I think there's this level of ownership that you're taking, even of raising the next generation, right? Because you guys are considered the next generation, but for you, the next generation is the 1st and 2nd graders.
Yeah.
What is it like trying to wrap your head around the idea that what you do through serving is impacting these kids? How much does that play into the way you see yourself serving?
I think it plays a lot into it, because some days you really don't know what you're doing here, and it's kind of, you get up on stage, you host, you have like your little small group, and you're kind of just going through the motions. But then a kid will say something to you and it just snaps you out of it, of like, oh, they're actually like listening, or they start to remember your name, or you start to see their growth, and it really just shocks you of like, I'm making an impact. Like even these few hours on a Sunday, I'm with them like an hour and a half each week, and even that small sliver of their life, it ends up being such a big impact, especially in a church like setting. Like so many people don't go to church because they've had negative experiences in the church. And being able to create that loving environment for the kids and being able to see that and see them excited to come back, it really gives me hope that these kids will grow up and continue their faith. And especially there's some kids like week after week, they're just crying and they end up going home early and you have to call their parents. And then eventually they start becoming excited to come in. They start like running into the rooms, and it just gives you that little like glimpse of what I'm doing like matters. Like it's really amazing to watch them grow and them become more confident in their faith, and then them starting to open up those conversations and ask questions about Jesus, about God, about the Bible. And it really like opens your mind, because some things like it just takes a while to get like that words, English. Gratification?
Gratification. There you go.
Yeah, there we go. We're using big words today. My grammar isn't that well. But it takes a while sometimes to realize what you're doing matters. And I feel like in the kids crossing setting, it doesn't take that long, because these kids really like latch on to their leaders and the people on stage and the worship team. And it just really creates this environment that I love.
That's good. And I love that you brought up the idea that people have had bad experiences with church. And I think a lot of times people's bad experiences are because of the people serving.
Yeah.
And that is not good. Like that sucks. That's not how the church should be portraying who Jesus is and how we are believing in a God, but we're acting one way and we're saying this other thing about God. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
But I think I love that because that fits through any spot you serve in the church, whether you're behind a camera, whether you're serving coffee, whether you're holding a door open, whether you're standing out front parking cars, whether you're with kids, whether you're leading with the crossing students as an adult, kind of leading you guys. I mean, you have Trey who leads your group and you're in Cody's group. So like you guys have adults who are pouring into you, and all of those pieces create a good experience for somebody at church, and it shows them who Jesus is. So it's not just kids that does that, it's all of it, but kids is a huge piece of that too. So I love that. So let me ask you this. What, Benji, you kind of already hit on this, but other than getting you more excited for church and getting more involved in church, what benefits have you seen for you since you've been serving?
So the benefits I've seen since I started serving was like a better content of like doing things for other people, because usually when you're in elementary school, the teacher would assign you things to do, like a line leader or door holder or whatever. Usually I would despise door holder because I would always be in class last.
And now you hold the door at church every Sunday.
Exactly. And so once I moved up to middle school, it was like, I finally get a break. And then my mom signed me up for leading door holding again.
That's great.
And then once I started doing it, like as it became a rhythm, the benefit, it was just like more content of doing things for like
joy, even to give back to people in that way, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
That's good.
Like at home when my mom asked me to do something like take the trash out, I usually won't complain. I will complain if it's been a long day or any day.
Sometimes I get it. But that's good. So it's reshaped the way you think of serving other people.
Yeah.
And it helps with that. That's good. Bree, I want to ask you this last question before I kind of finish it up and close us out. But if you could say one thing to somebody who's like on the fence about serving, like, do I want to serve? I don't know if I should. Well, what would you say to them?
I say just do it. Like, it's such this weird jump into it, and you feel like that new awkward kid when you're first doing it, you know, like with the first day of school, it's always that awkward step. And just because the first area you serve in doesn't feel right, that doesn't mean just stop serving altogether. Because when I first started serving, I was serving in the nursery and it just didn't feel right. Like I was going week after week, and yeah, I loved it. I loved being able to like hold these little babies, but like I didn't get the satisfaction of it. Like I didn't get to see these kids grow. As soon as they turned like 2, they left. So I think just keep exploring like your different options. Like you will find that one place you fit in. Like God uses everyone. And just because you're not a great singer and can't be on the worship team doesn't mean to throw it out the window. Like there's so many areas to serve in the church, and we often don't think about it. We don't think about the people running tech. We only think about the person on stage. Like
we don't think about Benji holding the door.
exactly.
Right? We think about the worship leader or the kids crossing leader.
Exactly. Yeah. We see the people on stage and we don't see all the work that goes behind, or the people serving coffee. Like talk to somebody and figure out like what your options are. Everyone has their strengths, and Sundays is like an all day thing. Like just because you're busy in the mornings because you have to babysit your siblings, there's a 6 p.m. too, or there's Wednesday nights, or
that's good.
Like so many areas you can serve in. I say just jump into it, get your feet wet. It's a really good experience, and God works through you a lot, whether you realize it or not. And just find your place. Like God will put you where He wants you to be.
That is so strong. That is so strong. And I just love exactly what you said. Paul says it. He talks about how we're a body and we're all different parts, right? So just because you're not the eyes doesn't mean you don't have a place in the body. Just because the feet can't see doesn't mean they don't have a purpose. So it's like you have a purpose. Let's help you find that purpose. So I was going to close it out and say exactly what Bree said. So let me give you just a super tangible next step. If you are listening to this, you go to the Crossing students, you go to the Crossing and you want to get plugged in serving like Bree said, and you want to find that spot, but you just don't know where it is, shoot us an email. It's students@thecrossinglv.com. We'll come to like 4 of us staff members, and we will be able to field that and send you to the right person. Just say, hey, I'm so-and-so. I want to serve. I don't want to do this, but do you have anything else I can do? We will answer you. We will get it to you. We will get you plugged in because we want to see you plugged in. We want to see you serving and giving back. We want to see you playing a part in the kingdom of God where you fit. Because Bree has found where she fits. Benji has found where she fits, but maybe you haven't. And we'd like to help you figure out what that is for you when it comes to the church and where you fit in serving. So excited to see more students serve alongside these 2 amazing students that serve. So other than that, we will see you back for our last and final one. What are we talking about on this last one? That's the real question. I'm supposed to be speaking next week. What is it? Influence daily. That's our last week next week for the race. Don't forget that in 2 weeks, we have our one night. So we want to see you here on September 20th. And we are going to be doing a donation give to one of our partners. So if you want to partner with us in that way, bring some money you can throw towards one of our partners and help make an impact through them. That's another way that you can serve your community. So super excited. Thanks for being here. We will see you back next week.